From two dirty painters to multiple seven-figure business owners, I'm Redion.
And I'm Karmelo.
And we'll be giving you guys the insider secrets to take your trades business to the next level.
From crazy stories to proven strategies, get ready to supercharge your business with us.
Welcome to the Dirty Painters Podcast.
In today's episode, we will be discussing the importance of branding and diving into removing the key man risk from your business. Let's get right into it.
All right, so I know we talked before about branding, but today it's going to be a little bit more salesy. It's going to be a little bit more like how can you initiate and start the sales process by your branding? Because we talked about the logos, we talked about the t-shirts and wrapping your trucks and the collars and all that. You can go back to that episode and you can
revise, see what we talked about so we're not repeating ourselves
Today
again.
We're going to become very, very aggressive, especially specific for painters. Because we've seen a lot of, since last time we recorded that episode, a lot of newer painting companies are getting into social media that are trying to become influencers, get some free sprayers, get some free brushes. And we've done that too. Like we've been doing social media, Instagram specifically, for 6 years now. So we've seen it all come and go. We've seen people blow up, become influencers, get some brand deals. And we'll give you guys the insights. We're not going to mention any specific brands, but we'll just give you a little bit rundown of numbers that we've had and offers that we've had, so you can understand why you should not really focus on that, because the return is not great. I mean, if you're in business to make money, especially in the painting business, being an influencer, you're gonna starve. You're not gonna even be able to put gas in your truck.
Yeah, the amount of effort you have to put in to you actually get to the point where you get those brand deals, it's not worth it, to be honest with you.
I mean, because I think of people that reach out to me like, "Yeah, man, how do you get all this free spray?" I'm like, "Bro, I don't care about getting free shit."
Yeah, no, we just get sent for no reason.
Exactly.
It's because of the branding. And then some people, they want to get to the influencer type of thing, which is okay. But if you want to actually make money and scale your business up, then don't focus on that.
And most of the influencers that you guys see on Instagram are painters. Obviously, we're not talking about OnlyFans girls and like models and stuff like that have like millions of followers and they make 100 G's on Instagram. Like nobody in the painting industry is at that level. We're talking about most of the industry, like top guys will have like 200K followers, 300K tops. And there's like a handful of them. We're not talking about next level influencing. But so like I said, you should focus your branding mostly to convert clients
into projects.
Into projects. Like, convert prospects into clients that they're gonna pay and hire you for
your services.
A
lot of people they mix both of them together, which is a very bad thing because it just messes up their audience and it's so mixed and they don't really see any results from both ends, like from the influencer side and from the client side.
Correct. That's why me and Karmelo, we both have different pages. Like Olympian only, like the main Olympian page or the Precision Self Florida page only focuses on catering on our target avatar, which is the homeowners, the designers, the realtors. When they land on our page, we want them to be like, okay, this is the company I want to hire. We want to increase certainty with our prospects. And then our consulting pages, they're completely different content because we have a different avatar. On our consulting Instagram pages, we are targeting business owners. So we're showcasing different things. You have to keep them separate. You cannot mix like your specific page, like let's say your painting page, cannot be talking about brushes or sprayers or I don't know what else.
Oh, use this new tool. It's this new gadget.
Yeah, like your customer does not care about the new 3000 brush model that just came out that can cut laser sharp lines without looking.
With a Bluetooth speaker installed into it.
So the customer does not care about that. And we'll break down. I'll be giving Karmelo a little key sign so he knows exactly which brands I'm going to be talking about. And then he'll tell you like how much money they actually offered us and how much it costed for the work that we did with them. And then what the return was and how much time we actually put into it to get that. And at the end, it was not worth it. We would have been better just doing a kitchen cabinet. We would have made more money than that with the time that we spent doing those things.
Yeah, and then sometimes where we work with brands where it was actually worth it, and that's how we figured out our numbers. Like me personally, the stuff I've posted on my page and some stuff I've done internally for big brands like Sherwin Williams, I got those numbers down, and it worked out with the hours I put into work.
Yeah.
But some of them, we'll talk about them.
All right, so let's start with a big paint, not big, like let's start with a paint brand. Let's start with that. So there's a lot of paint brands out there that they're really focusing on targeting influencer painters. And I never claimed that Olympian is an influencer. Never, never. We just grew. We had a few reels went viral, and then we got a big audience. Like our goal was never to become influencers because we want our page to just turn paid customers, convert them. So that's always been the goal. And you guys can fact check me. You can go on our page and you can see like there's not much going on. We're not trying to really give value to the painting audience. We're trying to give value to our customers, to the homeowners, designers, realtors, contractors that are gonna land on it. So I'll start with in the beginning, we're just starting out navigating the waters of the social media. So we got reached out by tons of companies. Well, I want to start with a specific insurance company that reached out to us, pretty popular. We're not gonna mention any brand names. They wanted to pay 6 Gs, us film the ad, so take the production cost. They wanted usage of content for like I think like 180 days, and then they wanted us to make like 10 posts, 10 posts, 10 reels, and then post for 60 days on our story 3 times a week. So I was like, I got excited in the beginning. I was like, oh, I'm gonna work with a big brand and all that. That's gonna bring so much social
Exposure,
equity,
yeah.
exposure. I was like, oh, that's so great. And then I was like, okay. I was talking to my brother. We're like talking to videographers. I'm like, let's do this ad, let's do this ad. And then once I got the quote from the videographer, it was like I think like $1,600 to do like the reels and all that. I was like, okay, so I have to pay this guy
$1,600.
$1,600, and then like our time, the expenses. We wanted to do like some six stuff with like a job sites and all that. So it was gonna be time consuming. So I'm like, okay, $1,600, go. It's out the door. I have to pay the videographer. I have to spend at least a week, me and my brother, some of our guys, to do those videos, which is a lot of work. Trust me, guys. Like creating content is a lot of work. Like even today, filming this podcast, we're doing 4 episodes. It's work. It's a lot of freaking work. So I was like, okay, me and Carmelo are gonna be off limits for a week doing this. We're paying the videographer. We have to do the posting, which is extra time, additional time of doing posting and the stories and all that bullshit. So I'm like, for 4 Gs. And that's in like a 90-day process to get that money. So I was like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, no, you're cash flowing this project on your own,
Yeah.
and you have to get paid at the end.
Yeah, so and then we had, I think we had 100,000 followers too on the main page, and I had like 100,000 followers on my
your
own
personal,
page.
yeah.
So we had a decent audience. So I was like, okay, this is not making any sense at all. And I was like, okay, guys, I'm out. Then that was the one. I'm like, I'm not gonna spend 90 days to collect 4 Gs and then do all this work, fulfill the production, and then I was like, I'm out. That was the first one that it was kind of a big ticket. You hear 6 Gs and you get excited because 6K is a lot of money. But once you break it down, you're like, oh fuck, that's garbage. Literally, you can go do a kitchen cabinet. Like me and Carmelo will do a kitchen cabinet this week by ourselves. It'll take us less time, less headaches. We don't have to post for 90 days, and we'll make more money. That's like just like that. Then next, it was a software company, estimating software company. And they reached out to us. They wanted a 12-month contract. So I'm like, okay, what are the terms?
I'm just laughing thinking about all this.
Guys, these are real legit things that happen. So I'm like, okay, what are the terms? Like, we'll pay you guys $1,500 a month. From the 1,500, 300 will go to the software. So $1,200. And then you have to make 5 stories a week to showcase that you're using the product, the software for estimating. And I considered it. I was like, okay, let me try the software. The software was garbage. I'm like, I'm not fucking selling this shit.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's glitchy and all that. And then 5 posts a week, that's a lot of work. I have to sit there and be like, okay, look, I'm putting an estimate together using this software. It's not worth my time. And then that was another one that we had to do. And then it's a pretty reputable, pretty big
Known in the
known
industry.
in the industry. And I was like, okay, this is not worth it. Next, you want to talk about the energy drink that I hit them with a $25,000 ticket? They're like, holy shit, our budget's like $1,500 for our influencers. I'm like, you guys are crazy.
And they wanted a 3-month thing.
Yeah, they wanted 3 months. They wanted us to put in our pages or our business pages, on our personal pages, on the podcast. They're like, oh, can you put it on the podcast? I'm like, okay, I'll do it for 25K. I'll mess up with my algorithm for 25 Gs. It's worth it. And they're like, no, we're thinking more like 1,500. I was like, guys, please do not
Do not waste our time.
do
Please.
not text me again. Please. Because another thing is, for example, like let's take Olympia page. It's strictly focused on the homeowners, real estate professionals, designers. Now, all of a sudden, I start making posts
about an energy.
about an energy drink. It's gonna throw it off. It's gonna be like, oh, what the fuck is going on here? I thought you were a painter, like a home painter. Why are you pushing energy drinks now? And it makes a difference. It's not like it's on rules like, hey, don't do it. But we've noticed it, and we did that in the past. We try to like push brands, and then our algorithm got fucked.
It messed up. Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, I'm getting no engagement because I think the algorithm just tries to relearn what's going on with the content that you're pushing. So that's another thing that you have to keep in mind. Once your business, you're building your page towards one channel, and then all of a sudden you're introducing a different channel, it gets confused. Also, your audience. So the homeowner now is like, what the fuck is this guy pushing me an energy drink or a software or anything? I don't care about that. I just want to see oddly satisfying videos. I just want to see transformations. I just want to see them working and how they work. So put yourself into the customer's position. Like, okay, why would I follow this page now?
They unfollow you and they just lose a potential new client in the future.
And I posted that in my story. A guy reached out to me that's been following the page for a year and is finally ready to buy. So I'm like, if I didn't have the content I have in my business page, and I was trying to push products, I was trying to push sprayers, I was trying to push energy drinks,
He'd get tired of us.
he'd be like, fuck these guys. I don't care about it. Like, I'm not trying to buy general liability insurance. I'm not trying to buy estimating software. I'm not trying to buy a contractor's energy drink. I'm out. And I would have lost that prospect. And then he would have not messaged me a year down the road. But I kept re-engaging with him with the content by posting jobs, posting videos, educational videos, befores and afters. So he increased certainty, and now he converted to a paid customer a year after he followed us. So keep that in mind. Your personal brand, not your business branding, is going to initiate the sequence of the sales process. They go on your page. They're not ready right now. They probably don't even own a house. They might be buying a house in 6 months. So like, okay, let me follow these guys. And then they follow you. And then they keep seeing you working, you're staying busy, you're doing projects. They keep seeing your stuff. They keep getting more interested. Or you might be posting a cool color that they might like. The more they see of that, the more they'll be likely to reach out or hire you as well. What other deal? I mean, we like supporting the spray companies. They send us sprays all the time, but those are things that we use every day. So it's not like we're trying to push a customer like, hey, buy this sprayer. But you're like, hey, we use the best tools in the market. And that's a little bit different. But we're not gonna be out there and pushing products like brushes, software, things that we use in our day-to-day operations because the customer is not interested. And then like sponsorships, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. Even like, for example, like Sharon Williams, we've had sponsorship
for the drop cost, for the paper. It was ridiculous. And
Pain. We got reached out by Bayer Paint. I'm like,
what are you guys doing here?
That's a paint I talk the most shit about. I'm not, and it was a decent amount. I'm like, I'm good, guys. Thank you. Like, I'm not gonna switch my my processes and all that because I can make a couple of $100 a month from being sponsored by you guys. So that's something that you need to really understand, especially one of the points that we have here, like why you should put your painting business on Instagram, you really have to have a clear target goal. Why do you want your painting business on your Instagram? Do you want it because you want to be an influencer and you want to target the painting audience industry and then push or educate them and push products, educate them on techniques, educate them on new technologies, new gadgets that might be coming out? Or do you want to put your business because you want to attract prospects that they can convert to paying customers? That's the crossroads that you need to decide which way you're going. You're going left or right. You cannot be doing both. And then I promise you, we've done both. There's more money when you position your business into targeting your ideal prospect, which is the homeowner, the real estate professional, the designers that they're gonna bring paint jobs into your business. And then the consistency in the brand. Like if you look when we really start taking social media serious, maybe like 2019, 2020, the consistency of the branding and the content has stayed the same for the last 4 years. Nothing really has changed. We talk about the same things, we showcase our work, and we showcase what goes on into our day-to-day operations, converting those jobs so the customer can become familiar. It's like a reality show. It's like you show your customers what goes on in your day-to-day operations. You show them how your business operates. You show them what products you use. You show them how you convert those jobs so they can trust you pretty much.
Yeah, a good, strong brand, it needs to have cohesive branding. So that way it stays on the customer's mind for long. If you don't have cohesive branding, which is, like you said, the consistency, then if you veer off onto that different path, then they won't remember you.
Exactly. You have to stay relevant in front of your customers. And then how do you stay relevant? By being consistent, obviously, posting content. You don't have to post every day. That's another thing. Like you don't have to post every single day. Like if it's about quality over quantity. Post, let's say you post 3 times a week on your page, but it's very good quality. It'll beat posting every single day and just posting random dumb shit. Like
Here's this window for me, paint.
I don't want to see you dancing, man, on your job site. Like, how is that gonna make my customer buy? You have to stay professional too. That's another thing. Even if you have one follower, you have to stay professional. I think it's very important, which a lot of people they look over that. Like, I think you still have to treat your business as a Fortune 500 company from the beginning. Even if it's yourself, you have to treat your business as a Fortune 500 company. And then when you treat it like that, eventually you get there. And then you have to showcase that you're a professional. You cannot, you can't be. I'm talking right now. I'm just thinking of all these people.
All the
like,
examples. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
I'm like, because me and Carmelo will have like inside jokes and we'll send like posts to each other and be like, oh my God, look at these guys. Can you imagine being a homeowner and trying to hire this guy? No, don't be that guy. Stay professional, post good, valuable content, keep your branding consistent, and then work on building a strong brand that's not going to tie in to yourself. I think that's very important. When you're trying to build a solid organization, again, right now we're talking to the people who are trying to build a legit painting business that's gonna do over $1 million a year. If you want to be an influencer, do $200K a year, and then make your money from like side gigs, promoting sanders and promoting brushes and all that. That's different. That's completely separate. This episode is not for you. But if you're trying to build a legit organization that does 7 figures, multiple 7 figures, runs crews, operates like a legit business, then your branding needs to follow that route too, that path too.
Yeah, because branding communicates who you are, what your company is, what you offer,
and values of the company,
and also why you're a better choice from your competitors.
Exactly. That's a great point that you just made. It's gonna separate you from the competition, because when you land into a page that gives you value, you understand how they operate, you understand their day-to-day processes, you understand what materials they use, versus somebody that you land on a page and he's selling you sanders and I don't know, random bullshit, and he's acting like a goof on the page, who do you think is gonna have the advantage?
Yeah. Who will they be more confident in tackling their project?
Exactly. So very important. This again, this is for people who want to have a legit painting business, legit operation, and build a strong brand that's not gonna tie in into with themselves.
Yeah. You don't want to tie your personal
Yeah,
brand with your business brand.
yeah, because like let's say Radion's painting. All if I really pushed on building Radion's painting, people will just associate that paint brand with me. They'll be like, okay, where is Radiant paint?
Why is he not painting?
Why is he not painting?
Why is he Miami?
Like all these things, like that's why you have if your goal is to scale to a big painting company, you cannot have your brand associated with you. That's very important. And then look at the biggest painting companies. Look at Certa Pro. We don't even know who the fuck owns the whole operation. Like who like I like you can Google the CEO, you'll find the CEO, but it's not tied into one
It's not
person.
common knowledge.
Yeah. It's not like they like, oh, this guy, the CEO, is gonna come paint my house. No, it's a multi
Organization.
or like precision painting. Like
Who's the owner?
Who's the owner? Who like you don't know. It's the brand. I can think of like multiple, like all these big painting brands, all the biggest ones that they do heavy numbers. They know. They don't they don't know who the owner is, or like they don't expect the owner to come paint the house. And it's the same with us. Like if me and Carmelo were not putting ourselves into like doing the podcast and putting ourselves out on social media, nobody would know who owns Olympian Painting. They would have no idea at this point. But at the beginning, it was when it was just me and my brother doing the work and a few guys. Then they were expecting us to be there all times.
That's one thing I'm gonna say, because that's when we mixed in the Glass Master into the Olympian painting page, and then everybody was expecting either me or you to come out there and paint. So that's when we mixed personal brand and a little bit of our business brand together, and then we would get those expectations. I was like, oh, I thought you were coming there. But they wouldn't know that, hey, all of our guys are Glass Masters.
Exactly.
So we stopped posting Glass Master stuff. I think it's been years.
Years, yeah. Because I remember the turning point on that was like a specific job. I was like, oh, Radion, I thought you were gonna be doing the spraying. I was like, what? I'm like, what made you give that impression? He's like, I only see you painting on the videos, or I only see your brother. So I was expecting you guys to be doing spraying. I'm like, no. Like, and that's when I switched and I was like, okay, no more Carmelo Glassmaster, no more me. So we start posting more of our guys. We start like really focusing on, hey, Carmelo is the Glassmaster. He's the best sprayer. We're like, okay, everybody's the best sprayer in the company. Whoever sprays in Olympian is the best sprayer. We had to switch up because people were expecting me and my brother to do the spraying. It's like, guys, we're trying to grow this business too.
We have 10 projects at a time. What do you?
Yeah,
we're gonna.
I remember I was telling the lady, I'm like, I wish, but no, I have to like run the business, do all this, do all that. So she understood, but that was like a little light bulb in my head. I'm like, okay, I need to change the content. I need to change the branding. I'm like, I can't be pushing my brother as the best sprayer anymore because everybody's gonna be expecting Carmelo to be the sprayer, or everybody. I used to post video of just me. I'm like, okay, everybody's expecting me to come paint their house. So I had to position it because we're going to get a little bit later. Key man risk. What's a key man risk in a business? It means the business only relies on you on everything. And you have to start positioning your brand a certain way so people can understand that that organization does not just rely on one person, or does not just rely on Carmelo or Radion or whoever. There's multiple people within that organization that they can trust.
Yeah, sometimes new customers or homeowners, they don't even know what we look like.
Exactly.
The point we've reached that.
Or a lot of times I'll sell a job and I'll never even look at like, especially when I sell virtually.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of times when I sell a virtual job, I'll rephrase that. People don't even know what I look like, or I don't even know what they look like. It has to be like that. But if they were like, oh, if they saw me posting and talking all the time and spraying all the time,
and then you come out there personally,
and then I send, for example, let's say I'm the face of the company, all the content is about me, and the next thing you know, I send Carmelo and the crew, like, I'll be like, oh, okay, this guy saw me. Where is he? And I understand. I would be the same way. I'm like, okay, I bought this because I looked at all these guys' content, the face of the company, he does all the work. But where is he now? I would be, I would not, I would, my red flags would go up. Okay, okay, what is going on here? Very important. Position your branding so you can eliminate key man risk down the road. What does that mean? Mean the branding, the business does not rely on you to function and operate. If you want to grow to a multiple seven-figure organization scale to a legit painting business.
One question I would like to ask you about this. Starting out, would you want to position your content a little bit towards you so you can make it more personable until you get to the point where you start hiring crews, and then you transition to like, okay, I'll just expose my crews more in my postings. Do you think that's a good
How
strategy?
much money are you working with? Let me ask you this: how much money do you have to invest to start that business, or invest in the personal branding?
And the personal
Or
branding.
what's the level?
Let's say you're just starting out.
Zero.
Zero.
Zero. So when you're just starting out at zero, I would really focus on putting myself out there, obviously, so people are buying from me. And obviously, in that stage, you're gonna be involved in the business on every stage, right?
Hmm.
You're doing the painting, you're doing the sales, you're doing the setup calls, you're doing the marketing, you're in the marketing materials. So in that stage, once you're into the position where you're doing everything, then you can, put yourself out there, talk about it.
Hmm.
Obviously, you're not running at scale now, so your goal is to make money, right?
Obviously.
So you're gonna do whatever it takes, and then you're gonna use to your advantage that you're a trustworthy guy, people like you. You're gonna use that to your advantage, so you can sell more jobs. Once you start making money, and I would say around 500K, 600K a year, that's when we start really switching our branding. Then you can be like, okay, now I removed myself from operations. Like I'm not painting anymore from the field. I'm not painting anymore. So now I need to showcase my guys. I need to showcase the people who are showing up into the customers' houses versus myself. I think that it's a transition period. If you're just starting out, ground zero, put yourself out there, build a brand. Be like, hey, this is Radion with. Again, we talked about this before. Don't name the business after yourself. If your goal is to scale it to a legit multiple seven-figure business, but in the beginning, you can associate the brand with yourself. Like, hey, I've been in the industry for 10 years. I'm an expert painter, third generation painter. Your about page, your story is going to tie in with the brand. Then once you grow, you have a reputation, you're building out a legit operation that can scale, then you start pulling yourself away.
Hmm.
Then you start eliminating key man risk on the branding side of the business. Then you can start showcasing your crews. Because in the beginning, if you don't have anybody to showcase, who you have to post something, so you'll post yourself. Then once you're ready to scale and showcase your crews, and you have crews and you have multiple jobs, then your branding is gonna switch. Your content is gonna switch. You're gonna be showcasing like what I do a lot of times. Like for example, I'll go out on a day and visit 6, 7 job sites. I'll just be I'll post on the stories all the crews working. Even like I'll put some of our crew leaders talking, which is very important. All these things like I'll put our sprayers spraying at the shop, different sprayers, different guys painting and all that to showcase like, hey, we're a
We're a big organization
big
then.
organization, yeah. So it's a transition period. The more pieces you add, the more things you can showcase.
Hmm.
But in the beginning, you have to post yourself, like how we did. It was only us in the beginning, so who else were we gonna post? Us.
So post yourself in the beginning, make it a little bit personable until you build up that cushion to where you can pull yourself away from the field and then start exposing your guys and then putting
Yeah.
more into marketing.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
what you're
Until
saying.
your organization grow,
Mhm.
like again, you can't fake it. If you don't have guys and you don't have a lot of job sites, you can't just fake it.
Don't be a fool.
Yeah, so just build up your organization, and then the busier you are, the more things you have to showcase. It just be natural and organic. I think that's the best content that performs the better. And the customers were like, okay, these guys look, they have 10 job sites going on today. They have multiple crews. Oh, the befores and afters. Also, branding, like one thing that we really do is like when people leave reviews or when they comment on our stuff or like they post us on their stories, we reshare it so people can see like, hey, look what others think about us. And I think that's way more important than having Google reviews. It's about like, oh, when we get a text or when they comment on our Instagram post, Like if you go on our business page, you can see the reviews bubble, and you can see it's not only Google reviews. It's people texting us. It's people commenting on our Instagram posts. It's people posting on their pages about the work that we did for them. It's very organic and natural.
Yeah, because sometimes people don't really want to make a Google account or they don't have one. So
Anything positive that they leave to your pages, repost it. And then put it on the reviews bubble. And then that bubble is the first one that you see once you land on our page. And then you can be like, oh, wow, look at what other people are commenting. And it looks more organic. It looks more like it's
natural.
Natural. It's I like it doing that way, and we see great results on it. So that's for the business branding. I think, position your brand so it can help your organization grow. Don't position your brand revolving around you. Then personal branding depends on what you sell. Like for example, like right now, me and Karmelo are really focusing on our personal brands. And that's the reason we're doing this podcast. We want to showcase, give value to you guys so you can see that, okay, these guys know what they're talking about. They're not just some bunch of dumbasses pretending they're fucking business owners, but they have good value to give and they walk the talk pretty much. Now we're focusing on the personal branding more because our business brand is great. It can operate without us. People don't associate it with Karmelo and Redion, new customers, new prospects, because we get hundreds of leads. So when they land on the page, they're not expecting Redion and Karmelo. So they're fine when a sales rep shows up. They're fine when a project manager shows up. They're fine when a crew leader shows up. The brand is running on itself pretty much now. And now now it's time for us to focus on our personal brands because now we have different ventures. Now we're doing the consulting. Now we're trying to add more locations. Now we have different businesses. So now we can focus on that. But our personal brand is not really tied in and associated with Olympian. Like I'm sure you guys noticed. Like it's not only that one brand. That we built that brand. It's autonomous right now. It runs without us. Now we're like, okay, let's go build something else. And it's gonna be the same with the other businesses. We're gonna build them up. They're gonna be autonomous. They're gonna run without us. Now we're at the point where we can venture into other things. Personal brand. We're not really experts on it, so we can't really talk about it that much because we've only been doing it for a while. Like we started the podcast about 4 months ago.
We're still working on it.
We're still working on it, so we're not experts, so we can't really give you a lot of tips on how to build your personal brand and be a killer and all that. We're still learning. We're still learning from others that are doing better than us. But the only thing is like keep your businesses separate from your personal brand. Still associate yourself with them, like, yeah, I'm the owner, I own this, I operate this, I run this, but don't tie in 100%.
Yeah, something that I've done that a few brands have reached out to me personally or through the company email. I've explained to them because they always want, like, hey, I posted it on Olympian. Tell them, like, hey, this is a personal brand thing. It's going to be posted through my page. These are the numbers, and then that's my non-negotiable. I'm not posting it on our page.
Yeah. Because if you post it on our page, it's going to conflict with what our main page is doing, which is converting prospects into paid customers so we can paint their houses.
And then another good way I explain it to them is like, hey, all of my followers on the Olympian painting page, they're homeowners. Do you really want to market it there or on my page, which is mostly painters, contractors?
Yeah.
Is that more of your target audience? Think of it that way. And then they go, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's the same way. I don't even respond to them anymore because right now we're really focusing on getting the podcast up and running, getting our bookkeeping company, recruiting more locations. So I don't even, like, unless it's something huge, something big, like a big brand, I'm not even considering it. But yeah, you don't want to, what do you call it? You don't want to associate? Not associate, but like you don't want to disturb your audience that's used to a certain type of content because it is disturbing.
Yeah, or disrupt will be a better word. It's like, what is this all of a sudden?
Exactly.
What is this all of a sudden?
That's a good word. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and you can see like all these big influencers, you can see when, fact check that yourself. Go on a big painting page, a painting business that has a lot of followers and look, their spray videos, their rolling videos, whatever, their working videos are doing great. They get a lot of engagement and then they'll post, I don't know.
Like an estimating software or here's this gadget.
Or like some sponsored thing and then the fucking thing plummets. And then you can notice, I noticed that because I stalk a lot of those pages because I want to see how their content and how the engagement will be. Once they post that video, the sequence for the next 10 videos, they all plummet. And it takes some time until they build it up. So I'm like, that's interesting. And I noticed that with ourselves too. We would do that and we would post something random out of sequence and then our engagement would plummet. Like even our story views would go down. Like I remember at one point when we were doing the influencing thing and pushing brands, I'll be getting like 1,000 story views with like 120,000 plus followers. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, that's it. No more. I'm not promoting anybody anymore. It's taking a hit on my multiple 7-figure business to make pennies and then bring awareness to other brands. That's why I'm like, unless you're dropping 25K minimum, I'm like, I'm not even considering posting anything on my page because it affects the conversion rates of paying customers. And then once we stop, now we get consistent results. So, like my stories will hit 10,000, 15,000 views every time. So I'm like, okay, now we're back at it. And then this is all speaking from personal experience because we did it. We did all the deals. We did all the paid things. It's garbage. It's not worth the money once you start making the kind of money that you can make with the painting business. Then if you want to be an influencer and make some beer money and fucking gas money, but you're not going to be able to pay your bills with 100,000 followers, guys. I promise you. You're not going to be able to do anything legit or survive. How often should I provide value versus how often should I ask for sales? So I'd say about 10% of your content needs to be a call to action or asking like, hey, send me a DM to get a free estimate or do this or do that. And about 90% should be showcasing your services, showcasing your finished products, showcasing befores and afters, showcasing how you got to that after, showcasing the during, the prep work, and then that's a happy medium. And then most of the 10% is because you want to run ads on it. So every time you think you need a new ad, then ask for sales. Make a post that asks for sales. But most of your content should be value, increase certainty, convince my customer that I'm legit, that I can deliver a good product. That's it. Very, very simple. Do not always ask like, oh, let me paint free estimates. No,
tiring,
it's
repetitive.
exhausting. Yeah. So 10% ask, 90% give. That's the best way. And about 10% should be structured towards you running ads on it. And if you guys want more info, send me a message on Instagram on my personal page, not on the Olympian page.
Not Olympian painting.
Because a lot of things, like for right now, we have somebody else running the Olympian page. I don't have time to deal with 20, 30 leads a day. I'll still be involved, keep an eye on it, but I can't be messaging them all day. Like I'm working on other things. So now we have somebody else handling those leads. I was the only one doing it. Then Karmelo started doing it, helping me. Now we have somebody else helping us because we have to allocate time to different things. So a lot of times, I'm not the one talking to you on the Olympian page. Very important. Or like, it's funny. A lot of times people will be messaging because, in the beginning of Olympian, I was the only one running it. And then they'll be messaging like, hey, what's up, dude? And all that. And like thinking it's me. And then our assistants will be like, oh, these guys, who are they? I'm like, oh, they probably think it's me. So I have to text them and be like, hey, or they're like, hey, please message Redion on his personal page or here's his phone number. That's the point you want to get to. You don't want to be the one doing the talking or pre-screening the leads or dispatching the leads that come in from social media. And it's the same with the content. Eventually, you want to offload that too once your business grows.
So you talked a little bit about key man risk. What is that and how does that tie in into your brand?
So key man risk and brand, it's like what we spoke about earlier. You don't want people to associate the brand. Like, for example, I could start Glassmaster company, Glassmaster's cabinets or something like that, tied in just on you. I could blow that up easily all day long. We can go in any market right now. I can use you and your expertise. Karmelo is the best sprayer. He has the best knowledge. He has everything that can deliver you the best product. I can start a business right now and can start getting jobs tomorrow. Guaranteed. Using you as my marketing material. But how far can I scale that? How many jobs a week can you do by yourself?
Oh man, just by myself?
Let's say 1.5.
Maybe two.
Maybe 2 if you're
If I
working
stretch
50 hours. Yeah,
myself.
50, 60 hours.
Leave an arm there, another arm there.
So let's say we start a brand new company. Carmelo's cabinets painting. Carmelo is the glass master. Gas him up. He knows he's been in the industry for 7 years. He knows every coating. He's the best at spraying. Carmelo can do tops, 2 kitchens, overworking himself, running himself to the ground. And then I can get a lot of leads. I can fill up your calendar. And other things like when people are like, oh yeah, I'm fucking 4 months out. I'm like, yeah, we've talked about that before. If I was trying to keep me and Carmelo busy, it could be 2 years out because people are expecting us to pay. We could market the shit out of us. So your capacity is 2 jobs a week, tops. And then, but that brand is associated to only you. Whoever is reaching out to that business page, to that Instagram page, they're expecting Carmelo to be doing the Glassmaster thing, right? Mm-hmm. Me as an owner, if I found you on Instagram and you're selling me Glassmaster, I'm the best sprayer, craftsmanship, I do all that, I do these techniques, I'll be hiring you for you. If you send me Redion, I'll be like, who the fuck is Redion? Why are you here? Where's the Glassmaster? So that's a key man risk that associates with the branding. That's why you can only scale it to a certain level where you can be involved at every single job.
And then I have a example of, I've seen 2 companies that do that initially they both started associating the brand with just themselves. Like, hey, I'm going to be painting your kitchen cabinets and everything. One of them stuck to that. And then the other kind of veered off, rebranded, and is now hiring more people. Has a shop, is cranking out more volume. I don't know if you know which guy I'm talking about.
Write it down.
Write it down? Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Write it down in not gibberish so I can read it.
I'm working on my handwriting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, great example. Great example.
That is the example that comes to mind right now.
Yeah.
When you thought of, Carmelo's Glassmaster shop.
Yeah, no, that's a great example. The one brand strictly focuses on Carmelo's Glassmaster. Carmelo is the best cabinet painter. He has the best process, uses the best product. And the capacity is 1 cabinet a week. Versus the other brand,
Brand B.
Brand B, I don't know, I was going to say Redion's Painting, but I just said don't name your painting business
Flex
after
painting.
yourself.
Flex painting.
I don't know,
Yeah,
just
there
nicotine gum painting.
There we go. Caffeine painting.
So, and then the guy completely went from by himself to like getting a shop, hiring more guys, rebranded, starting a new business.
And then he's not putting himself out there as much.
Exactly. You know, that's a phenomenal example, which you can rebrand. You just have to start from the beginning again. And yeah, I'm sure that guy is making way more money than Carmelo's painting.
Yeah, again, but it's probably 2 different people. Like the other guy might be content with, I'll do my 1 kitchen cabinet
Exactly.
a week, or
again, this podcast is for people who want to scale their businesses, run legit operations, run multiple crews, make serious money. The next episode today that we're recording talks about how you can make serious money in the painting industry, like doctor money and more. So again, you have to realize which way you want to go. You have to figure out why you're in business. You want to stay small and just, work for yourself, create your own schedule. If you want to take 2 weeks off, you're fine. Or you want to grow and scale.
Yeah, we're not saying either of those business models. Okay, this one's wrong, this one's right.
Yeah.
They're both right.
They're both right.
Work for,
exactly.
Depending on your needs and what you want out of this.
We're not talking shit to Carmelo's painting. If he wants to stay small and doing 1 cabinet a week, he'll still make great money. He'll make $4,000 or $5,000 a week working by himself, promoting like a high ticket job. He'll be happy. He'll make 20 G's a month, working maybe a helper here and there.
That's still great money for yourself.
Still phenomenal money. But we're talking to the guy that wants to make $200K a month. We're not talking to the guy that wants to make $20K a month. We're like, this is next level stuff. And I like how that guy did it too. I know he completely rebranded himself, moved locations, positioned himself, brand new market, positions himself different. And now he's killing it. He's doing well. His shop is always full. So, but Are they both wrong? Is one right, one wrong? No, they're both right.
Mm-hmm.
But that guy, that's how he wants to operate.
He wanted more out
Yeah.
of this business.
Yeah, the other guy wanted more. And it's the same with me and Carmelo. Would have been fine, guys. I would be running my own crew. Carmelo would be running his own crew. We would each make $25,000 a month, take home. We'll be very happy. But is that all you want? That's the question. You have to ask. You want to be an owner operator? You'll have a beautiful, you have a good life. I guarantee it. If you're a hard worker, you're a good person, you learn a little bit of sales, a little bit of marketing, you'll keep yourself busy in a crew, and then you'll be happy. But is that all you want? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. Us, we're like, okay, this is great. We're making good money. You're running working on the field, running our crews. But how do we grow this? How far can we take it? It's simple. You have to ask yourself those questions. And then how do you eliminate key man risk? You start delegating responsibilities. We talked about that before. Like me, for example, when me and Carmelo were starting out, I delegated the field management to Carmelo. I was like, okay, let me go focus on how we can make more sales, we can convert more jobs, become better at marketing, create more processes. And then I focus on other things. Then Carmelo started delegating that to recruit leaders. I was like, Carmelo, come help me with sales. Come help me with this. And I taught him the system. And it's easier that way. We talked about the scaling up and how you can delegate. Key man risk, that's how you delegate it. You either rebrand, which is great. You can be Carmelo Spending in the beginning, make money, learn the business, learn the processes, create the processes. And then it's easy to rebrand when you have 50, 60K in your bank account or you go start a new market. It's very easy. It doesn't take much to start a new business.
Yeah, I think the person that rebranded, I think they took the right steps into rebranding so they can have a scalable business.
Yeah.
But do you think relocating is important? Because the target market that you're in, they've already recognized you okay, this guy, he does it by himself and all that. But relocating to a new area, into a new audience and new prospects that really don't know what you're about, does that help relocating, or do you think you can stay in the same position and rebrand? What do you think is easier?
I think you can do both.
You can do both?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can do both. You can still stay in the same market. You just switch your marketing approach. Mm-hmm. You're creating new business. You're creating new business page, social media, and that's it. If you have money, especially to run ads and bring awareness, it's going to be very, very easy. You can fast track that process by a lot. Yeah, I think if I would start a brand new brand in Tampa, for example, I'm sure we'll be very successful, or in any market.
Especially now that they don't associate the brand with us too much. Back in Michigan, I think we still had our personal brand.
Yeah, but where's Carmelo? I'm like,
we're still getting reached out hey, I'll just pay you and Redion to come up here.
Nah. I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to step foot
I don't want to
back
travel
in Michigan ever again. Fucking cold. It snows in August. I think you can either do what the guy did, completely move markets, or you can stay in the same market and just rebrand. I've seen that happen before. It's easy to rebrand. You can start as Carmelo's Painting in the beginning, and then you can be Nicotine Gum Painting after.
And then this is, I think, one of the final questions that I think I have for Key Man Risk. What are some tips you can give to people about delegating responsibilities and then what to expect?
All right. So the biggest thing is you have to trust people, that was my biggest struggle. And my biggest obstacle and the biggest challenge I had was trusting people. I didn't even trust Carmelo in sales. I was like, Carmelo is fucking... I'm like, holy shit, he's wasting my leads. And then it took me time to trust you doing sales. And then you saw how hard it was for me to start trusting our sales reps. I was like, oh, fuck, these guys are dumb.
And then I got into your shoes after that.
And then you got in my shoes after. You're like, oh, shit, now I know what he's saying. You're like, they're wasting leads. But those are the growth pains that you need to overcome to start delegating things. And it's okay if they mess up in the beginning. That's another thing that I noticed with a lot of painting business owners. They'll hire... and then the guy will mess up and then they fire him. I'm like, bro.
You need to be giving a lot of chances, especially when you're delegating new responsibilities, because it's a learning curve.
Because keep in mind, nobody's going to do things the way you do. Mm-hmm. And nobody's going to adapt to your approaches or the way you do things right away. That's why it's okay if they fail. And that's why you need to have room for error when you're delegating things. It's okay if they mess up a few leads. It's okay, our assistant, when they start taking over our DMs, it's okay if you didn't respond to them within 25 minutes or, like me, I'll respond in like 3 seconds if I'm running DMs, but like it'll be 2:00 at night. I'll be like, okay, I'm like, if they message me, they're up. So it's not like I'm disturbing them.
I think you sent me one time, it was like 1:30, one of our clients, the big project, the remodeling project that we did, they messaged you and then you responded immediately back.
I was up.
I was like, what?
Yeah, I was up. So, but it's okay if when you're delegating tasks to other people, if they don't meet your exact standard, it's fine. It's okay if they mess up. It's okay if your sales rep screwed up a lead. It's okay if they didn't sell it. It's fine. That's why you have to give people room to grow. And you can't be a jackass about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay if they fucked up a cabinet job. How many times our guys have fucked up cabinet jobs? It's like, I can think at least 20 times on top of my head right now. I'm not even thinking of that hard.
They're still working with us.
Yeah.
They're doing great.
Exactly. We don't get rid of them because think, when you invest time in those people, it's a lot of value that you're investing with them. And then those mistakes, they'll learn from them. That's why you have to have a different approach. So how you eliminate key man risk, start trusting people and let them fail.
And then something important that you said, which I don't know if any of you caught that, but afford to be able to make those mistakes. So when you're initially starting, you're not going to start delegating those responsibilities because you need to build up, that cushion or bankroll so you can afford those mistakes. Bankroll. That's a good way of putting it, because when you're, I don't know, 200, 300K, you're not going to hire a sales rep.
Exactly.
Because you can't afford for him to not close, let's say, at a good, have a good closing ratio.
Yeah.
Don't expect, we've had sales rep in the beginning, and then I'm not going to name any names, but they've burned through like hundreds of leads before they close the job.
But it didn't take a hit on our numbers though.
Yeah.
We had the room to burn leads so they can learn. And we invest in those people so for them to learn. And now they're good. But if we're struggling and we needed the next lead,
we'd still be selling.
We'll still be selling, yeah. I mean, we still do. Like, me and Karmelo will go into all the VIP and the high ticket because we want to get the best outcome possible, especially if you're dealing with a picky customer, a difficult customer, all these things. We want to make sure they get the best experience. We're still, even like we have eliminated key man risk at a certain level. Like, for example, I'm like, when I'm dealing with a high-end designer, I'm not sending a sales rep there. No.
That's what I was going to say. The key relationships, it's either you or me, depending on who created that relationship.
Or like Andrew's job that we're starting in July.
You're going to be handling that.
That's a big ticket. I was like, hey, because I'll be doing a bunch of traveling. I'm like, hey, what dates do you think it's good to start? Because me and Karmelo need to be there and project manage. That's a $200,000 job. I'm like, what are good dates? Because I need to plan accordingly. So because on this one, me and Karmelo need to project manage. And again, what is your time worth? Like when me and Karmelo are on a project, we make a lot of money. Like just straight up, we make a lot of money when me and Karmelo are managing and running a job. But is it worth for Karmelo to go micromanage a 5K cabinet job? No. And that's why we built teams. That's why we built sales reps, project managers, crew leaders, that they can manage those 5K jobs. But when it's a big ticket, we have to make sure that nothing goes wrong. Because it's not only about the money. We want to make sure the level of expectation that we set when sold that job, it's met. When you're doing a 11,000 square feet high-end home, it's different when you're doing a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom repaint. That's just a move-in special. So those are the things that we need. Obviously, the more your business grows, you'll be able to identify when you need to step in or when you can delegate things and let your organization and your people handle it. But yeah, eliminate key risks, start trusting people, let them fail, and then delegate things. Take things off your plate. Where are you more valuable and more important within your organization? That's the question you need to ask.
Are there levels to key man risk? Like, high level?
Yeah, we're not going to really get into that right now. I don't want to get that specific because that's something that I charge for. Doing business audits, looking into your business, giving you a roadmap, creating a business plan for you, doing forecast, giving you a blueprint that you can follow so you can eliminate key man risk. But yeah, there's levels. You can be at 1, which is the least, and you can be at 5 or 6 or 10 key man risk that everything runs through you.
You live and breathe.
You live and breathe in business, and you are the business. So when you take yourself off the equation, what business? All right, I don't know if I have anything else to touch about branding. And then again, guys, if you're trying to build, I'm gonna end with this. If you're trying to build a legit painting business, focus on conversion. Don't focus on going viral. Don't focus on becoming an influencer. Don't focus on getting free brushes
Or likes.
or likes. Focus on when the prospect customer lands on your page, how much value are you giving them, and how much certainty are you giving them to pick up the phone or decide to send your DM. That should be your goal. That should be your main focus. If you get a free brush and that's your goal, then I'll send you some free brushes. But that should be your focus when you're trying to grow a brand that's going to be able to make money. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think you pretty much answered all my questions and tremendous value.
Cool. All right, guys. So this will wrap up this episode of the Dirty Painters podcast.
Be sure to follow our business on Instagram at Olympian Painting and also our personal pages, Olympian_Redion, Olympian_Karmelo, and also keep up with the Dirty Painters podcast.
If you like this episode, be sure to share it with a fellow painter or tradie. Until next time, this is Redion.
And I'm Karmelo.
Signing off from the Dirty Painters podcast. Thank you, guys.